Premier League is finally back this weekend, and so we are. Welcome to another episode of Football Corner Pod, wherein we talk about all things football. I'm Hari Keshav, and along with me is my trusted friend and co founder of the channel, Amog.
Hi.
Hello, Amog. How have you
Fine,
been?
fine.
We've not spoken about football in a long time.
Yeah, good to have you guys back.
Yeah, absolutely. It felt like a long break, even though there was some internationals played. Nobody cares about international football, so it felt like a good summer break. That's what we were discussing as well. So it's good that Premier League is back. But as you can see, we also have not one but two friends of the channel today joining us, Soham and Ashwanth, both diehard Chelsea fans. Welcome and nice to have you on the pod as well.
Thank you.
Thank you for inviting me.
Uh, Sure. Soham and Ashwant, do you want to quickly introduce yourselves and how big of a Chelsea fan you guys are?
Yeah. Hi guys, first time on the spot. I've always been super excited ever since Smoke first spread the word around and to show up here. And yeah, honestly, if you want to ask how big of a fan I am, I have a tattoo of Stamford Bridge almost as long as my arm right here. So yeah, I guess that speaks, actions speak louder than words.
Yeah,
Tattoo speak uh, louder than voice.
Yeah,
yeah. Hi, I'm Soham. So I've been a friend of Amog for quite some time now, and also been following his ventures when he started the podcast. And yeah, speaking of being a Chelsea fan, I've been a Chelsea fan for about 15 years now from my school days. There used to be rivalry since then as well between all of my friends were Man United fans, and I used to be a Chelsea fan. So yeah, right from then. So it's been quite a long time. It's been an amazing journey.
Great. Thank you, Ashwant. Thank you, Soham. Just so that I'm always surrounded by Chelsea fans on the spot, I chose to wear the 2008 final Champions League United jerseys just to bring some banter into this pod as well. But yeah, it was a well contested final until the Terry slip, I have to say.
yeah.
Brilliant, guys. So let's dive into this episode quickly. So, in today's episode, we will preview the games from the upcoming Premier League Game Week 12, score prediction at the end of each of these games. We will also talk about how we have structured our FPL teams for the upcoming week. So, all of these people that you see here, including me, we play FPL actively. So, we can talk about what moves that we're going to make for this upcoming game week so that you can take a lead and probably copy us or do one better than us. So let's dive into the episode. Let's quickly move on to Arsenal Forest. 250th game for Arteta tomorrow. It's been quite a difficult start to the season for him. No wins in the last four Premier League matches. But the good point for him is Odegaard has returned. So I think they missed Odegaard a lot. And the injury scares to Bukayo Saka and Declan Rice were minor. So I think they both should start. But what is it with Arsenal now? They are in season three of Project Arteta, and for them, they've in these 3 seasons they've not won any titles. And the commentary that was said is okay, Arteta is pushing Pep to the title, and that is enough. But then they are already a bit far away from the league leaders, Liverpool, and it's been a tricky start to the season. What do you think needs to change at Arsenal? I know it's not all of your favorite clubs, but what would you like to see, or do you think Arteta is the man to get them to where they need to be?
Mm, I feel they struggled with the Odegaard injury a lot, right? And Arteta, from what I've been listening to from Arsenal fans, I think they played Havertz in the Odegaard role. They tried to play him there, and that's where they struggled a lot because, as we've seen with Chelsea in the past, Havertz over there is not as good as we thought he would be. And those same struggles were brought into the limelight for Arsenal as well when he started there in place of Odegaard. So that's probably their main issue why they are struggling a bit because of lack of a lethal striker. I feel Havertz was pretty effective up top, and it might return to that with Odegaard coming back. Sorry to say, but yeah, I feel for the result, if you ask me against Forest, I would say that Forest get a result. I think it will be 1-1.
Ashwant, any thoughts
Um,
on this game?
Honestly, I think Arsenal had a very tough start in terms of circumstances, the fixtures, but they've faced almost every top six side now. Now they have a run of games similar to Chelsea. And in a way, the timing of Odegaard's return couldn't be better. So now they're looking at a
Mhm.
period where they can also go on like a run, which they've done in the past. They have experience, they're going to do that. So I feel like Arsenal's creativity went down, like how Soham pointed out.
Mm.
Odegaard not being there impacted them hugely. And I think Arteta's channeling his inner Mourinho at this point because
Yeah. Yeah.
Saka
Exactly.
was the only creative outlet for major parts of the first 10 games of the season. We have Marino, Partey, Rice, what to say, four centre backs across the back line and Raya. It's reminding me of Obi Mikel and Matic times at Chelsea. It reached that point where you can't depend so much. It was purely set pieces and Saka doing something with Havertz running up and down. I feel like that's about to change. The dynamic is about to change. They're going to revert back to a more familiar system now. It will take time. Nottingham Forest being one of the best defenses in the league.
Yeah.
I don't imagine Arsenal scoring more than once. So yeah, I'd say 1-1 is a good prediction of sorts because Chris Wood is aiming for Ballon d'Or 26.
And Forest
Uh,
have got a point
Abs-
against all the top six sides, I think. They've played
yes,
against this time. Yeah.
yeah.
Speaking of Chris Wood, the man can't stop scoring.
Yeah.
He's basically outscoring his XG by 2 times. So that is how Chris Wood has started this season. When they bought Wood to Forest, the main man was supposed to be Awoniyi, but right now he's keeping Awoniyi on the bench and he's starting all the games and ably assisted by Callum Hudson-Odoi and Elanga. So Forest have been doing great. It's actually, this match is Arsenal is in fourth place and Forest are in fifth place. But do you guys think that Forest can keep this momentum ahead, or it was just one of those runs that they've gone in and then it's all going to come crashing down?
I think they're gonna comfortably finish top half. That is fine because they've sorted their defensive bit.
Yeah.
Even Wood has to stop scoring at some point.
Yeah.
It's not obviously we all know they'd have to do something pretty spectacular to like finish in the top eight. But respectable what they've done so far. I think this team suits Espirito Santos' style of play and the players he has got at his disposal. And there are a lot of unsung heroes like Ryan Yates and all those that midfield cog that he has there. Nottingham Forest is a tough nut to crack. Like we faced it when they came
Yeah.
to Stamford
Yeah.
Bridge. At Anfield, they destroyed Liverpool, even though they've been, killing everybody
They
else this
placed
season.
the
So,
better in that game.
yeah, it's crazy. But I don't know how far they can go against Arsenal, honestly, because, come on, Arsenal's also going to be hungry. They're going to be, like, even more motivated and all of that. So, yeah, it's going to be a good game to watch. It's definitely going to be one sided. And I pray and hope Chris Wood continues this purple patch.
Yeah.
Brilliant. It just crossed my mind now that this will be also an interesting game because Edu is leaving Arsenal and joining Forest
Wow.
Group. So this will be the last game for Edu as, I think, sporting director, right? Or
Yes,
yeah, he was
yes.
at, yeah. So this is going to be interesting. Us Ateta without Edu, right? So yeah, it's all there for grabs. Soham, you said Forest are going to get a result. Ashwant, how about you?
I think it'll be 2-1 Arsenal.
Amok?
It's 3-0 Arsenal.
Oh,
Wow.
Wow. Okay, great. Then if it's 3-0 Arsenal, then it's a good 250th game for Arteta. But let's see. The next game we move on to is from Arteta. We move on to Pep, who has also, for the first time in his career, lost 4 games across all competitions. That is, he lost to Spurs in the Cup, and then 2 games in the Premier League, and then one against incoming United manager Ruben Amorim. Just we don't get a lot against Pep, so I had to put that in. But over the week, he extended his contract by 1 year with an option of an additional year.
Imagine a pay hike after losing 4 games.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Only Pep. Only Pep. But just like Odegaard has returned to Arsenal, Kevin De Bruyne has come back.
Mm.
And I think that could be vital for Man City, although they're without
And
Rodri and they're going to
Kovacic.
be out. Kovacic, exactly. Kovacic is going to be out for a month. So Who's going to play that role? Matthias Nunes? And how is he well equipped to play that role? One of the most important roles. It's all up
Is
for
Calvin
debate.
Phillips still around?
No, no.
Oh,
Ipswich.
yeah. It'll be difficult for them, I think, against Spurs. But having said that, I think Spurs have their difficulties of their own, right? With Mickey Van de
Yeah.
Ven and Romero not starting. I don't think they're going to start against City. They're injured.
No, both
No,
are.
they're both injured.
Yeah, yeah. It'll be difficult for Spurs as well against City because City are extra motivated after four consecutive losses. I think the break couldn't have come at a better time for Pep. Again, he can rally his team up. He can get De Bruyne back to fitness. Yeah, I think Haaland is back to scoring again, and I would say City win this 3-1.
Just a question on how much Foden has been quiet this season. We haven't seen the
He's
best of
been
Foden,
scoring in the
and I think
Champions League though. He's
mhm.
he's uh, he's playing very well there, and I think he's making up for Haaland's lack of goals in the UCL.
But
Perfect.
I,
So
I honestly don't think this is going to be a big win for City tomorrow because they could win. I'm not saying you're always inviting trouble when you say City is not going to win. But
Yeah,
the point is, City's key part over here is their defensive midfielder position. Like they essentially need that to do whatever else they're doing everywhere else on the pitch. Now you don't have Rodri, you don't have Kovacic, who was Rodri's supposed replacement. So now you have to replace that guy. Rico Lewis has been playing right back throughout. If this does not, I think this kind of solidifies Rico Lewis's position. And unless you have John Stones maybe fit, I don't see anybody who can play in that position for City. Gundogan is not the same.
yeah,
He's more of an offensive guy. He doesn't have the legs. De Bruyne can't play there. Bernardo Silva, come on. The only position left for him to play is centre back at this point. It's going to be, and no matter how good or bad Spurs, which Spurs shows up in whichever half of the game, you know for a fact they will control the ball in midfield. They will play that fast ball. And without that DM sitting over, I don't think Nunes and all counts. He's been playing left wing throughout this season, and Grealish has been on the bench. So Guardiola has gone into one of this overthinking mode again, is what I see. I'm not able to see a clear pattern of play where City might dominate Spurs. So I'm actually very curious to see how it might happen. Even if they do dominate Spurs, how it's going to be. Because apart from the centre back pairing, Spurs are pretty much the same team. So their midfield control, all of that is going to be similar. This game is going to have a lot of good personal battles. It could be an edgy one. Definitely, there will be goals. Both teams are looking vulnerable. Uh, I don't think De Bruyne's return is going to be as big as Odegaard's return because De Bruyne has played a few games already this season. He had cameos and all of that. And we've not seen anything similar from De Bruyne or Foden or Bernardo. Savinho has been their biggest creator. So City is going on this transformational phase of sorts. So whether this team can still deliver the goods or not, very, very skeptical. But every year I've been proved wrong. I kept saying this won't be City. So yeah, why not go one more year saying, yeah, I don't think it'll be City.
absolutely right. Like every year, it takes some time for City to,
yeah,
build up that steam. And then once they hit that top form, they're just going. But speaking of how much City are missing Rodri, I would like to throw your focus onto another player they might be missing, especially when they're not scoring goals up front, which has to be Julian Alvarez. Because last season, whenever Haaland was not scoring or if he was taken off, this guy used to come in and he used to play that center forward role so well, and he's got them so many important goals in cups and in the league. And the fact that I was quite shocked that they sold the money that they got for him was brilliant, and probably they had to do it in order to help them in their court cases or whatever. But I think Julian Alvarez, I think Pep misses him as well, because you can't expect Haaland to, as much as cyborg he is, there is no rest for him now in that team because there is no other center forward. I think even Delap. I don't know if Delap was a center forward, but he's now at
Yeah.
Ipswich.
He's a
Or was he
yeah.
a
no, no,
winger?
he's a centre forward. Now he's at Ipswich.
Exactly. So I think, yeah, but then let's come to Spurs now. Ange
Before we move, I'll
Postecoglou.
just to add something on City. I think you're absolutely bang on there. They're definitely missing Alvarez, and was a surprise. I think something's not adding up in the sense that I felt they didn't sign. I thought City were planning pretty well. They didn't sign anyone over the summer because I thought Pep was going to leave because some new manager. I could see a clear plan there, and I was impressed that not making any rash signings for Pep because they know that some new manager will be appointed after this season. Everything was going fine. Suddenly, this news comes of Peck extending his contract. So now, what are they going to do? That this leaves them in a very difficult situation. They're going to go for signings in January.
No,
Then,
actually, there were no proper summer center forwards available. So this
right,
summer,
that's true.
so only Osimhen was available, where Chelsea had the most talks with him. I always knew that Gyökeres will be a perfect striker guy. So probably City might approach him, but that
Uh,
again, that's
will
a
he
big.
go to a team where Haaland is the first starter?
If
Yeah,
they are paying 250k pounds a week, then why not? You have Champions League.
They've also
That's
sporting
what.
CP sporting director is now
oh
at
wow.
City, and that is why we went in for Amorim
No, you are
United.
not
So it's
getting.
going to be a battle for
Please,
Gyökeres.
please, don't even dream. You are not getting Gyökeres.
You have Ramsey and Hoyland.
Yeah, you are stuck with Rasmus Højlund.
Yes, Xerxes is a 9.5, a role which has never been defined in football. But yes, so I don't know what that is.
And speaking about
He's rated himself on Swiggy Award.
Yes.
and speaking about City's midfield, Nunes is also not available, by the way.
Oh my God.
Oh,
Yes.
really? Oh
Good.
my God.
So
So
Gundogan plays
tomorrow's game.
CDM.
Gundogan will be playing CDM.
Yeah.
Lewis.
But
Rico Lewis can play.
this could be
Yeah.
interesting because Man City versus Spurs. Usually, Spurs are the ones that give Man City a run for their money. There's
Yeah.
been some
Yeah.
important games either at Etihad or at the Tottenham Spurs Stadium, so it's going to be an interesting game. But what is it with? Let's go from a Spurs perspective. Postecoglou, one of the most inconsistent teams this
Yeah.
season, has to be. The last 5 games is a win, loss, win, loss, win. So it's basically they have not been able to string two wins or any two good results together. But yet everybody loves him. They love the football that they play, the brand of football they play, everything is fine. But what needs to work for Spurs? Do they need to tactically change something from your perspective, or do they need to be a bit more defensively adept? Because tomorrow it's going to be crazy. You look at this, there's no Mickey Van de Ven, there's no Romero. People might be tempted to even captain
And
Haaland
there's
tomorrow.
no also.
Uh, no Bentancur, exactly, for
Is Kulusevski
reasons we
fit?
all know why. No idea. I think so. But
Yeah, he's
Kulusevski
available.
is going to be part of that
Yeah.
front
Yeah.
three, right? So I'm more worried about
Defense.
the
Yeah.
spine of the team and the fact how many goals they score. A lot of goals, but they also
Yeah.
leak
Yeah.
a lot of goals. So it is going to be interesting. Again, with the predictions, sorry, just a round of predictions for this game because now we've brought in all of these new perspectives. So now that you put all these perspectives into the mix, a round of predictions for tomorrow's game.
Yeah. I still would go with 3-1 to City. Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
It's basically you summed it up with Spurs' inconsistent performances. And I think with Mickey Van de Ven and Romero out, they will find it difficult to contain Haaland.
I don't even know who are the
Yeah,
other
I don't
defenders. I
know
know
who starts
Dragusin
for
is
them.
And
one.
Davis.
Ben Davies.
Yeah.
Davis.
Are they good enough?
Debussy.
Yeah, not too sure. And also, they like to play a very high line, and it could backfire against City. Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
This is going to be, see, like when you asked, do Spurs need to change something tactically? I think Postecoglou needs to change something tactically, and everybody knows that it's the worst secret in football. Now, man doesn't know when to stop with the highlight. He said, even if I have two guys, we'll do highlight only. He's openly told that in an interview.
absolutely.
Now that, as cool as see, I have huge respect for the dude. I think he's a very cool guy, and I usually never say these things about a Spurs manager. But bias aside, he seems like a genuinely smart fellow who knows how to get his shit together. But if he's going to continue with that highlight, which I don't think he has an option to tomorrow, then it's confirmed that he's a certified. What to say? I don't care what you think. I'm just gonna go with my method.
Yeah.
So tomorrow we will.
Yeah.
This is before the game. You can't give any excuses to saying, "Oh, I thought Ben Davies can hold Highline against Haaland." Nobody thought that. You
Yeah,
cannot do that.
true.
Tomorrow we might see a more smart Spurs version, but that'll only be for one half. We know that they'll implode in the other half. We don't know which half is what. It's going to be a 3-2 game. I just can't seem to call it between City or Spurs. It could be either one because City also don't have that link to sit behind and keep defending. Walker doesn't have his legs, Stones, all of those injuries. So yeah, it could be. It's a 3-2 game. I can feel the goals. I'm just not sure if it's going to be swinging City's way or Spurs' way.
But that's a brilliant perspective, Ashwant. I think Spurs fans will learn a lot about who Postecoglou is
Yeah.
tomorrow. Is he this obdurate coach who is, okay, this is the system, this is how you play, irrespective of whatever happens, or am I able to adapt? And as a coach, if you're not able to adapt in the Premier League in this era, then you're not winning anything.
Yeah.
Amok, any last words and predictions as well?
Probably it will be 2-2.
Okay,
Let's
interesting.
see.
Good. Then we move on to the next one. Southampton versus Liverpool. League leaders Liverpool, they travel to St. Mary's to face last place Saints. So it's basically first
You
versus
don't, you
last.
don't, we don't need to predict also, man.
Yeah.
We
Predict
can
goal
predict the number
difference.
of goals.
Yeah.
Exactly. But like, I'm so interested to understand. I've watched the only Liverpool game. I watched I think two Liverpool games this season. One was the loss against Forest because I was invested in Liverpool losing, and the other one was the United one, and I was not invested in that match at all. I started drinking very early. But who is going to stop this Liverpool juggernaut? Because they have, in the past two matches, they have thrashed Leverkusen 4-0 at home. And then they beat Villa 2-0 at home in the Premier League. There is already a 5 point gap difference between them and City. Van Dijk is available for tomorrow. Trent Allison is still a doubt. But is Slot a genius? Because it's not easy for a new manager to come into a league that you've never been, and it's a high demanding league where every team has its own strengths. Or is it just that he's inherited a really good
I'd
team?
say it's two reasons. First thing, we just spoke about Postecoglou, whether he's going to be completely fixated on one idea. No, Slot is the exact opposite. He's as flexible as a good manager needs to be. We've seen him employ all sorts of tactics against all sorts of teams. Even now, the only thing we can tell about Slot is Liverpool will control the game. They will close games out.
Yeah,
Even against Arsenal,
yeah.
there were parts of the game where they didn't look very good. But you just knew for a fact that they'll find a way back into the team. So Slot's aura of we'll fix this is seeping throughout that Liverpool team, which gets to the second point where I think people keep comparing Klopp and Slot like A and apples and oranges, but I'd say it's very different because Klein is not the starting right back for Slot. There is no Ricky Lambert starting striker for Slot. Like the team that Slot
Correct.
got is way better than what Klopp inherited. So Slot is going to take lesser time. This is a team with already with full captains, Egyptian captain, Dutch captain, and proper leaders of their national teams already. That's come together. So that winning mentality, the aura, the all of it. The only difference is you have a coach who didn't say he's tired. That is the main point at Liverpool right now. So them being flexible and the team being at the peak of their prowess right now, because there's zero changes. Literally same squad from Klopp last year. So it's pure
Yeah.
mentality and tactical shift. And I think that Juggernaut can be stopped, but these are the reasons why it's seeming so hard to do it.
But one of the most important points that you brought up was Liverpool are more scary now under Slot than Klopp because of the ability to control games. There is more this high octane games where they go back and forth, whereas Slot has brought this aura of control, and that is quite scary. But added to one of the points that you said, probably is Slot just saying, guys, these are all your last years at Liverpool. Salah has not extended his contract. Van Dijk has not extended his contract. Trent is probably going to Real Madrid. So go play your hearts out. Play. This is your last season at Liverpool. Go out on a high. Is this one of the reasons that you can see? Because It seems like it,
Yeah.
at least.
Yeah, I think if I might say that, I feel Liverpool underperformed in the last couple of seasons. Considering the team they had, the manager had been there since a long time, all the players were at their peak, they had been together for a long time. They were great in 21-22, but like last couple of seasons, they struggled a bit. The 7-1 defeat against Villa, and then even last season, I think there was a point they picked it up towards the end, but there was a point where they were struggling. So it's the new manager bounce combined with all of this, that they had been struggling in the last couple of seasons. Maybe it was due to a lack of motivation for Klopp being year after year. They had already achieved the Premier League, Champions League, everything. So it might be one of those issues, or it can also be that this time the slot, as you said, they're controlling games, or it could be a combination of both, right? Slot controlling games, and also the new manager bounce is finally starting to show, and they're playing to their potential, which had been accumulating since the last couple of seasons. And having said that, I think will come to an end. This juggernaut will come to an end because it's the Premier League after all. Slot will find it challenging maybe towards second half of the season after December, because different teams find it challenging at different phases during the season. Like you said, City takes some time to kick off. We have a history of having a very bad December, and Klopp will also find it. I'm sorry, Slot will also find it out one way or the other at some point in the season, I feel.
Yeah. The only thing that I see is this squad depth that they have. I don't think they have enough squad depth, and the fact that they are across, if they're going to compete across
Hmm.
competitions, I think that could catch up with them. But apart from that, they tomorrow, as Ashwanth and Soham, you guys put it, it's a
Goal
question of
difference.
goal difference. I think Amok put that it's going to be a question of goal difference. Go on, guys. What is the score tomorrow? Be brave about this. I
Ashwant.
20 nil,
think the
20 nil
South.
Liverpool.
My God, 20 nil. That's where we start the auction at. Anyone up for 21?
I don't think I know Namok meant 20 nil as a joke, but honestly,
I-
Southampton, I feel like we are underrating them a little bit because they actually played really well against City. Why I know this because
yeah.
I'm one of the geniuses who triple captained Haaland in that game.
Oh,
Oh,
brilliant.
And
What was the return on that? Did he score
one
something? What
one.
happened?
from an XG
Okay.
of
It's
3
6
point
points, I
something.
guess.
Yeah, it's 6 point.
My God.
Bro, I would have thrown my triple captainship on Palmer only some other week, but
Yeah.
it was just desperate move last minute. But my point is, I noticed that Southampton, if they maybe City was not in the right mood, whatever, doesn't matter. Point is, Southampton know how to play out. Like they are actually capable of playing out from. They will lose the game, yes, but they are capable of playing out from the back and they are capable of keeping something together. But the fact that I think Ramsdale is also not available tomorrow is going to just make it much more closer to Amog's prediction. I'm just saying, don't write them off at completely shambolic. I think Leicester is going to be that. But yeah, you can expect a thrashing. I'm not entirely sure. I think it's going to be more of a controlled game in terms of 3-0 or a 2-0 because Liverpool aren't that rock and roll club
Yeah.
anymore. 3-0 up, maybe Salah's got an assist or a goal. Doesn't matter if he doesn't have also. Slot is going to take him out because I think they're playing Real Madrid in the upcoming week in the Champions League.
Oh,
Mhm.
Liverpool can't afford to, like, they'd rather rest than go all out and blow Southampton out of the water. So it could be a 2-0,
Absolutely.
3-0 in my opinion.
yeah.
Brilliant.
I
Brilliant.
I'll go for a more realistic 4-0 than Amok's 20-0. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
perfect. We also had a feline guest
Yeah.
appearance from Amok. Yes, jumping into the window. So that was brilliant. But one of the standout performers for Southampton has been Tyler Dibling this season. The kid is he is very talented. And Amok told in one of the podcasts about his story on what could have been at Chelsea, but he stayed at Southampton. So hopefully his season continues to go well. But Southampton are going down, wouldn't you guys say? I don't see in any.
Yeah.
Unless they get like a manager change and they do something. But I like the guy. I just think they're a championship club.
Yeah,
Like,
his wig is amazing. He's got the one of the best wigs in the business, I have to say.
But yeah, Southampton just another, yeah,
Yeah,
very far short of surviving this season.
Perfect. So that is all for you, Liverpool fans. Please let us know what you think the goal difference in the match is going to be. Is it going to be 20 nil? Is it going to be a moderate 2 nil? Or is it going to be a slightly better 4 nil? So let us know in your comments. Perfect, guys. Before we sign off, a quick insights into your FPL moves for the upcoming week. Let's start with Ashwant because he said he is heavily invested into FPL. And also, some of the perspectives that I've got on this podcast have been absolutely brilliant. So, yes, let's start with Ashwant. What are you planning for this week?
So this season has been very difficult in terms of resisting temptations and not taking hits and all of that. And I'm proud to say that I actually rolled a transfer right before international break. So my plan was to always try and get that what to say second Arsenal defender in game week 12,
for you.
and at the same time sell Haaland as well because I was one of the guys who sold Saka for Salah in game week 8. So now my team
Okay.
has Salah and Haaland in it. And
Mhm.
I was seeing Haaland was about to drop in price and Isak was about to go up. And based on the odds, I was fed up and it was a knee jerk move. So I had two moves planned. One move I already made for Haaland to Isak. Now in hindsight, I'm actually like, why did I do? Like Haaland would have been a great hold at least for the Spurs game. But
Yeah.
it's totally cool.
Yeah.
It was keeping the long term picture in mind because it allowed me to fund the other move, which is Tyler dribbling all the way to Cole Power.
Wow, because you
Haaland.
sold
Yeah,
Haaland.
Yeah.
yeah, and I didn't want to split the funds in
That
two
is
places.
brilliant.
Like tomorrow, if I want to
Okay.
do it back, I'll sell the Isak and maybe Saka or Palmer and get Haaland back. So if I put the money in too many places, then it'll be difficult to get Haaland back. So you're always planning to keep the. You need to shuffle with these premiums. Like last 4 weeks, those who have had Salah, those who have captain Salah, have lucked out against Haaland. It's not because Haaland he just didn't take his chances. It's not like he didn't get chances or anything. So it was definitely a bit of variance over there. So right now my team is having Salah and Palmer, but there's no Haaland. But I have Isak in his place and who has a good upcoming set of games coming up. So yeah, that's where my moves are at.
Brilliant. And your captaincy pick for tomorrow?
Uh,
Salah?
at the moment it is on Salah. If I'm feeling risky and if I'm getting cold vibes, then I'm going to go with Cole Palmer.
Palmer is not a bad shout as well.
Yeah.
Soham, how about
Yeah,
you?
so I did a couple of transfers just before the international break. I think a lot of people did.
Wow.
I removed Haaland against the last in the last match, right? And I took Solanke to target the Ipswich fixture, which kind of backfired.
Mhm.
But then I also got to take Salah, so he gave me some points as well. So I only have one transfer remaining now. I'm
Okay.
just considering couple of transfers, but I'll not take a hit. I'll do one of them.
Mhm.
I want to get in Sack or Jackson, targeting the nice run of fixtures which Chelsea have, starting with tomorrow against Leicester. Yeah, I think I'll just remove Solanke for Jackson, is what I'm thinking at the moment. And of course,
Perfect.
captaincy, I think Salah is the best captain this week.
Brilliant. Amok?
No, bro, I'm not a fan of FPL, so don't ask me.
Great. Great. For me, this FPL season has been horrible. People I've left on the bench have scored a crazy amount of goals. People I've just transferred out have done so well. People I've transferred in haven't given me any returns. So it's been. But I'm moving on, and I have one transfer for the week, and I've not done my transfer yet. I'm thinking between not doing anything this week and then loading up on a transfer so that I can do two transfers next week. Those two transfers would basically be to remove Haaland and get a cheaper striker, either Isak or Jackson, as you said, or even Welbeck if I want to go that deep. And then if I go that deep, if I go as down as Welbeck, then I would be then able to get Bruno and even Cole Palmer, who I don't have at the moment. I think, yeah, I think that would be the thing. But if I don't load up on my transfers, if I choose to do my transfer this week, I'm planning to remove Raya because I have Raya as my goalkeeper and probably go Onana. I think he has a comfortable lead.
Don't do that.
Don't do
Yeah.
that.
I'd
See,
say,
this is the advice I need. Thank
I
you.
mean, I'm trying, people are trying to get to double Arsenal.
Yeah.
Arsenal have that run
Yeah.
of fixtures now. If you've had Raya all this
Okay.
while, worst time to sell.
Should stick with
Yeah,
it.
stick. And that was
Yes.
the goalkeeper
I
transfer.
should.
I mean, Onana has to score a bicycle
Yeah.
for you to
Yeah.
net out the -4. So,
Yeah, exactly. No, I just have one transfer. Yeah, then I'm just gonna listen to Ashwant and then not do any transfers, load up on two, and then see
Yeah.
because I'm interested to see. I believe Amorim will be the man to unlock Bruno to
Great,
get him
great
further
shout.
away
Great
from
a
the
shout.
lot of
pitch.
people
Getting
have
Bruno
given
in
that
is
shout,
yeah,
but you have to give it some time. Like,
yeah, yeah, yeah,
when
Yes,
people are not even going at Foden.
yeah.
Foden is improved so
yeah,
much. If one game he scores, he's going to be the next
exactly.
thing.
Ipswich
So,
is a
Yeah,
juicy fixture though to not have
yeah,
Bruno, but yeah,
I
yeah,
mean, the time to get Bruno would have been last week when he was
yeah.
playing Leicester.
yes,
But now it
yes.
could go either way, so might as well stick it.
But then that game week was the one that I wanted to have Haaland. So as you said, this season has all been about that resisting those temptations and balancing your
Got it,
premiums
got
because
it.
the game has seen too many premiums. I think I understand why Haaland is priced, but come on, 15. I don't think even Haaland believes that he's that much in the game.
First
15
4 weeks,
million.
nobody questioned that. Nobody questioned. He had
Yeah,
10 goals and he was like, okay, 15 million makes
exactly.
sense.
Yeah,
But after that, he's just gone down. So it doesn't matter.
For that price, they should count the goals he scores in training as well
I
at
think
this
he
point, I
blanked
believe.
3 or 4 game weeks in a row.
Yeah, exactly. And how many of them
Yeah,
captained
oh,
him? We all got 4 points or something like that.
See
I think
who
What?
in one of
triple
the games he got a
captain.
yellow.
difficult.
Ha! But at least he scored in that game.
Yeah, at least he
Yeah.
scored in
There were
that
games
game.
in which
Yeah.
Bro,
we
don't
captained.
do this, bro. Southampton at home, you give me one goal, that's like pity goal.
See,
I don't want that. I want
when he
3, 4.
scored in less than 20 minutes, I think City scored against Southampton.
Yeah, I would
Scared.
work.
Yeah.
I thought this is it. I mean, he'll again bang 4 goals, and that was the week I got in Salah for Haaland.
Just to, before we wind up, just what is your quick team looking like? What is your current team like? If you can read it out, just for the benefit of audio
Yeah,
listeners.
sure. 100%. Let's start with Ashwant then before I open up my
Okay,
team.
my team currently starts with Flecken in goal, uh,
Mm-hmm.
Gabriel against Nottingham Forest, Mikolenko against Brentford, Lewis against Tottenham. My midfield is Embuemo, Rogers, Salah, Cole Palmer, and Brennan Johnson. Brennan Johnson is on the bench for me. And my front three is Nico Jackson, Isaac, and Raul Jimenez. My
Brilliant.
first sub is Brennan Johnson, second sub Trent Alexander-Arnold, third is Greaves, and my backup keeper is Fabianski.
Brilliant. Soham, do you want to go through your team
Yeah,
as well?
sure. So I have the same set of keepers as you, Ashwant. I have Finan
Okay,
in goal and Fabianski as my backup keeper. In
okay.
defense, I have Guardiol, Gabriel, and Alt Nouri. In midfield, I have Saka, Palmer, Embuemo, and Salah. I think that's a template.
Oh,
Wow, that's
premium.
some
Yeah,
Yeah.
midfield. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. But my forward line is weaker. You have Jackson, I guess. I have Solanke, Wood, and Raul Jimenez.
Nice.
So your overall
Good.
rank is
Then
easily top 500K.
I think it's in somewhere around 400k. Yeah.
Yeah, that's
wow.
crazy. This is
Wow.
too
Wow, that's
humble. I'm
crazy,
showing
Soham.
attitude for someone who's at
Yeah.
800K.
Now someone who's at 3 million and odd. So you don't even want to know my team. It's been horrible
No, that's why I have a
this
team so
season
that
and
I
even
can, if there is
yeah.
anything, if there is an obvious move you can make this week, I will tell you that also.
Sure. So for me, it is Raya in goal, Gabriel goal, and Mazraoui as my three frontline defenders, with Greaves from Ipswich and Boutfas from Leicester as the backup defenders. Then my midfield is Mbeumo, Salah, Garnacho, and Brennan Johnson in a four, with Winks as the backup midfielder. And then my front three is Jimenez, Haaland, and Wood. I think it's the same as
Mhm.
Soham. Yes, so that is it. And as I said, probably then I would load
You
up on
should
that
look
one
at
transfer.
captaining Haaland this week, not Salah.
Yeah, I would do that. I am more tempted to go the Haaland route, considering how Liverpool also have Madrid. But yes, that is
And
what I
everybody
will
is
do.
going for Salah, so it might be a good time for you to catch up.
Yeah, at three, as I said, at 3 million, it doesn't matter.
Hmm.
It really doesn't matter. At 400k, you guys have to bite and scratch for each point. I'm way past that.
Got it.
Great, guys. This has been an amazing podcast. Thank you so much, Soham and Ashwant, for joining us on the pod. It has been absolutely lovely having you with us, and we're very grateful for sharing your thoughts and insights on the upcoming game week, but also on your fantasy Premier League exploits. Thank you so much. As I said, this has been so insightful. I personally, me and Amok, probably we enjoyed having a lot of discussions, lot of perspectives, and it's always nice to talk about football after a really nice break. Also, when all the other teams have not played, we're a bit free to talk about all the teams. And for the viewers, as always, please do share and subscribe to our content on Corner Football Pod. We will be coming back soon with another episode and new friends of the channels, and sometimes we might revisit with some old friends of the channel as well. So until then, take care, be safe, and be aware of any corners taken quickly.
Bye.
Bye.